For this exercise, we're going to revisit an exercise from the last chapter where we built a quadrilateral class and then built two derived classes from it. What I'd like to do in this exercise is demonstrate how to use polymorphism with these classes to be able to display objects of multiple types from a vector. So if you recall, we had the quadrilateral class, followed by the trapezoid class, followed by the square class. What we're going to need to do is make our display method virtual in the quadrilateral class. And let's also copy it because we're going to need it in the next two classes. So we're going to come down into our trapezoid class. Let's put a space there. Add a display function, also calling it virtual. Change that to trapezoid. And we'll come down to the square class. Do the same thing. And change that to square. So now we have the ability for our display method to determine which type of object is being called at runtime. So let's modify our main program. We have two objects. Well, the first thing we need to do before we do that, pound the include vector into the program. So let's do that. So we get vector in. So right here we're going to say vector. We want that to be a pointer. We'll call our vector quads. Then we're going to say quads pushback, and then a reference to our T1 object, and then quads pushback, a reference to our S1 object. Now we'll write a for loop. For int I equals 0, I less than quads dot size plus I, quad sub I, and then an arrow symbol display, just like so. Check our code, it all looks there, it looks correct. So let's build and run the program, and there we go. So by making the display method virtual, I can put objects of trapezoid and square type into a quadrilateral vector, and yet when we try to bring the objects back out of the vector, the compiler can figure out what type of object it is and call the correct display method to show us the right type of object, either trapezoid or square. So that's the solution to the problem we had back in chapter 1, and that wraps up this exercise. And now we're going to look at one more exercise that deals with polymorphism.